decided to do a Gumayusi gameplay review of course. Tries Jhin with new buffs, right? T1 Gumayusi plays Jhin against Ezreal, right? Okay. So let's see what happens. Gonna close Discord as well. Alright. Let me check again if I'm recording. I am. Okay. So his runes are standard. He went for Fleet, Work, Food, Presence of Mind, Healing, Coup de Grace to last it. Then again he went for Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic. He didn't go attack speed runes. He went for AD. I'm not sure what's the reason for that. I do think so attack speed might be better, but the AD one is totally fine as well. It still provides something, right? He went for Biscuits and the Time Warp Tonic because he plays against a double poke matchup. Yummi is not too strong early on, but she can provide some shield, some healing, so that is something she provides as well, of course, to survive through the lane. They have the Comet as well, of course, they have the press the attack, so it is difficult to deal with. He went for boots, right? Notice he went for boots and for potions. The reason for that is, then again, he has fleet for healing, like, he wants to survive, so his point is to survive the early game, right? His point is not to have like some type of scaling, insanely scaling runes or early items, right? Like he didn't go for Kal or Longsword, whatever, he went for boots and for potions because they have a lot of skill shots, and these boots allow him to sidestep and space better, right? Really important. Now he's, by the way, mid-side, right? There is a reason why he's mid-side in here, right? The enemy LeBlanc is invading. So as Jhin, you can always hover on the mid-side of the map with your support, right? And because there is a world where in lower ranks especially, maybe there would be a small invade or there would be a mid-fight, and you can always, in that scenario, you can always start with W, because if you manage to snipe the mid laner while you and your support is here, then we can probably kill him, right? And it's more easy when your mid laner has some type of gank setup. For example, LeBlanc has a chain, so if he ever connects, she level 1 starts with chain in here, you guys sit here, there's a world where we kill Katarina, right? Now there's like another thing as well, of course. If it would be a Galio could really easily W start into Katarina and perhaps pick up a kill. So there are some CC, level 1 CC champions that allows you to get an early kill, and I do believe now with the Jhin buffs it's definitely worth to try to go for some type of cheese play, right? The same thing you can do with Twitch Yummi, you can level 1 gank mid lane, most of the people won't expect that, and you know, it could go either way, like you connect your W good, if you don't, you just walk away and you don't lose too much out of it, right? But it will possibly grant you a kill, right? Okay. So the gameplay began. We see that they are invading, right? They have clear vision, they are invading, so they gotta be careful in the early levels, of course, best if they don't over push, right? So he's hovering around, but there is no reason for him because realistically there's no way he contests, right? Now in here they need to be a tiny bit careful because there is a world where they get level 2 ganked by Talon, but most likely he will clear every, like, he will get level 3 and then he will aim to gank bot and mid, right? But there is a world where that happens, right? Especially like Talon just now took blue, and there is a world where he goes downwards, jumps through the jumps through this area and perhaps sets up a gank, right? That's possible as well, right? So if Karma ever W started and moved forward to W the Jhin, ult W the Jhin, there's a world where he would die because he has no cleanse against that. Also, we got an exhaust to run him down, so it's definitely a consideration, but it's really hard for them to, so yeah, it's probably really difficult for them to get the level 2 gank done. It will be really cheesy, right? But I would definitely play accordingly to the fact that Talon could level 2 gank us, right? Although his level 2 ganks are really bad because he can't stack up his passive correctly, so preferably level 3, right? Then here we went for an aggressive play. So let's check if he could do something differently. Most likely he couldn't, right? So in here the whole thing starts, right? He sidesteps, really good sidestep, right? He's sidestepping again, so... Okay, he missed his W, which was like a slight mistake, but Yummi picks it up, There's not much he could do realistic differently, maybe sidestep a bit better, right? It was a 1-for-1, the problem is Yummi got the kill, so... like early on, you shouldn't really fight too much with this combination with Jhin Yummi. There will be some good trade patterns, of course, but it's... without CC setup, it's really hard for you to disengage with your W on Jhin because it's really difficult to hit an ability that says 0.75 charge. It needs to charge up for that much time, right? So preferably I would like a support with CC like Damkench, but Yummi can totally work as well because she can provide shit ton of damage and she has a root after 6, so it's definitely fine as an option, right? Now in here he had like a slight mistake, of course, like he saw visually that the Karam ulted and he stood around, or no, he didn't have, I guess he didn't have enough time, right? Well, instead of last hitting this, he could do one thing, he could then move downwards so he wouldn't be in Karma's Q range, right? Q ult range, so he didn't have to like last hit it yet, right? So you can see visually with our eyes that he did not have to hurry to last hit that minion, right? So it's going low, but he could then just go downwards and wait with this last hit, because this minion had enough HP from my opinion, so if he walked downwards, right, and then auto-attacked it, he would then save like 100 plus HP in the end. Yeah, 100, more than 100, right? Or he could even give it up, like I would give up definitely, like worst case scenario you can give up 1 minion for that much HP, you know. It traded a lot of HP, right? So but definitely like the freest thing to do is just sidestep it, right? Okay. Then again, mostly he uses his W in the early game to CS, generally speaking. Okay. He W checks if they are sitting there or if they reset or if they are around, right? But they are taking the Scuttle Scrub right now because, as I said, they are playing really weak early and they're heavy scaling. So that means that they are allowed to take the first Scuttle Scrub, they are allowed to get cheaters recall, they are allowed to take control generally over the wave if they don't do mistakes, right? Okay, he picks up these things. He's just slowly CSing in here, not much happening, right? Very good spacing, watch where the Jhin moves and watch where Yummi positions. Yummi positions to face tank the Karma Q and Jhin positions to sidestep it, right? Now some people may say that why does Yummi get out of Jhin when he's in combat? Why does this happen? The reason for that is Yumi's auto attack DPS is higher than the damage she would give to Jhin. And also she stacks her support item, right? So that's the reason why she gets out like that, right? And she needs to get the shield as well, of course, right? So he gets the 4 shot off. So he gets some decent trades, although they are not the strongest early game combinations. They still can get some good early game combinations, right? I mean some early game combos together, right? On the enemy champions. Again, he's fishing for a W. He's looking for a W right now, right? But he couldn't do much about that, sadly, right? Because the Kiana just felt suicidal for some reason. Yeah. I do believe this was a bit greedy from his part because they managed to outplay. Managed to outplay actually together. Yes, these were some really like well played. Like look at his side set, right? Watch out on his movement, right? Really important. Let's go a bit backwards, right? So again, watch out how he positions. He constantly hugs minions. He stays always behind Yummi if possible. So Yummi will face tank these Qs, the Ezreal QWs, right? Like there are many skill shots that he wants to avoid just by moving, right? Let's watch out on the movement. He Qs, he moves, right? When he's recharging, he's in movement because he can't auto attack, right? He also throws in a W for a root, right? And now this is a bit hard for Talon to go in, of course, right? Because Yumi has summoner spells, he has heal, so someone gonna die in here, right? It's really volatile. Plus they didn't have vision. He procced, Yumi procced his, yes. And Yumi played it really well. He queued, he got outside, he went for auto attacks. And then he went inside when Jhin shot that. So Jhin just finishes off. I missed the W accidentally, I assume, right? But then Katarina collapses and the problem is, yeah, but they still got like, they definitely still got some decent kills, 2 kills, and 4 people rotated on them, so it's definitely fine. So he got his boots of swiftness, right? The reason for that is they got slows in the enemy team, they got some slows as well, it's a general thing on Jhin. He rushed it because mobility, as I said, is really valuable in this game because they have a lot of skill shots. As well, the slow reduction is not bad against Karma, it's easier to space out from her or from Rumble later on. Also Katarina will possibly have Blade to slow and Talon can W slow, so there are some things to look out for, right? The insane mobility, it's really good on Jhin because now in here what he's doing, it's not quite safe because we have information that the enemy bot lane is. Talon can't really assassinate him, so it's actually fine, but it's a bit dangerous, right? Just a bit. But if I think about it, Talon is not 6 yet, so, and he's really behind, so he's not really a threat, right? So he recognizes that even though Talon is missing, he's not really a danger for him because he has mobility boots, he can space out really easily with fleet, right? Like, it's difficult for Talon to deal with him like that, right? And now he sets up a dive, right? Watch out how he moves, watch out what he does, right? Yeah, his W was a tiny bit early there, or it missed, I'm not sure, but he should then wait until the enemy champion gets damaged, of course. I'm not sure like what happened in here. I'm not sure if Ezreal sidestepped it, or I think he was a bit impatient maybe. Yeah, he was a bit impatient. If he waited like 0 to 20 seconds or so, the Ezreal would be possibly rooted, right? Yeah, it actually hits. The problem is Kiana didn't the Kiana didn't touch the guy, so it means that yeah, I think if he would be a bit more patient, maybe there is a ward where the Ezreal dies. Okay. Yes, let's see what happens in here. So watch out how he sets up the dive as well, right? Really important how he moves. So he has his 4th shot, he has his Q, he has his W, Kiana is hovering around, right? Talon is dead, so everything is so well set up. Katarina is low, he had to reset, right? So what he does, watch out how he goes in, right? So when he shoots, he gets the speed, he gets the fleet speed, right? And he walks outwards, he doesn't stay under tower, he walks outwards, right? So he doesn't get the aggro, right? And he gets a good W off, right? He gets a good Q off, which means that it's a well set up dive. And now look how smartly this is played out. Yummi takes the aggro because she can walk out with the shield, right? And then Kiana can dive, because if Kiana takes the aggro in here, she's so close to the tower that it's really hard to space out of its range, right? Yeah, see, like this is how you set up correctly a dive, right? And in here, they still keep going, right? Jhin has ultimate, so what he will do, he will just space through this. He can even flash if he chooses to, right? So let's see what he does, right? Couldn't he just flash? Maybe he was scared of Katarina, right? Katarina could be here as well, right? So that's definitely fine if they respect it, because she can get many multi-kills. Because like she's not showing mid yet, she recently recalled. There is a ward where she just appeared soon, so best if he doesn't risk it, right? Yeah, there is a ward where Katarina just randomly shows up, so that's completely fine what he went for. Okay. Okay. He could actually even stay here, honestly, no? Maybe there's a ward where Ezreal dies to his... I mean, it's not necessarily, right? He gets his items, so it's like... It's like either way he goes, it's fine. If he recasts, it's the safer option. If he stays, it's a bit more risky, because Katarina could be around, Talon possibly, right? Karma is coming soon, so there is definitely some level of risk, right? Oh, he could ban W that earlier, but I suppose maybe he didn't move his camera. Really good flash from his part, but that's still not enough, sadly. Right, so in here possibly he could save the... I could possibly save the jungler, right? Let's go be a bit tiny bit more, right? So in here they are fighting, maybe he didn't notice it in time, but I think he could then get probably a W off, or... Oh, the guy didn't actually get marked by the Kiana because she wasn't really attacking back. That's why he couldn't W. So he connects his W, he tried to. It's a bit unfortunate. And in here his flash is insanely good. So look, he doesn't flash outwards or outwards because he would die either ways, you know. Like, he wants to die for a kill, so watch out on his movement. He flashes for the Talon because he knows wherever he flashes he would be dead anyways, right? He just would be dead. So if you are dead, at least pick up a kill, right? He has the 4-shot off, right? And saves the Yummi, right? Oh, W, Yummi. Maybe she didn't have W. Maybe she didn't have W. Okay, that's a bit unfortunate. Alright, so let's see what happens in here. Picks up a minion with his W, of course, that's completely fine, right? Okay, so let's see what he does in here. He's playing a bit aggressively out from mid and the jungler is missing. I mean, Yummi has no ultimate yet. I don't really like how aggressively he plays right now because they got some damage on bot lane, and there is like a ward where they get collapsed on really easily in here. I don't really like how aggressively they position. So see? And yeah, as I said, like, it's a Jhin Yummi. Yummi doesn't have ult yet, and you just can't really greed for such, right? So even the best possible AD carry players, right, sometimes will fall off macro wise, right? Like micro wise is really good, we all can see it, but in here, like, mid is missing, right? Roaming mid laner, really good jungler that likes to kill squishies and can jump through walls. Right, he has a good access, and we don't have vision on this side of the map, right? Like, we have to have some type of deep vision for us to play around the Talon E-ganks, right? Otherwise we're just gonna get collapsed on, right? So in here, for example, like, this is already overstepping, right? Like, for example, I go back a tiny bit backwards, right? We push this, that's completely fine. We can push this, that's completely fine, but you can't really do so, like, you can't really do such, right? That you overstep beyond this line. Beyond this line, you can get collapsed on really easily by Talon, right? And now they lost vision as well, right? So that basically means to me, like, if you are beyond this line, something like this, or something like this, Talon can just collapse on you, right? It's just like so easy. And in here he had like a slight mistake. He didn't really read the body language of Karma, so she was stepping forwards to EW herself, right, or just to W him, right, and he wasn't reading the body language, which means to me that Karma and Ezreal doesn't really want to fight them, generally speaking, right? She doesn't like, or I mean, she can get some short trades if I think about it. Even if Karma is not 6 yet, she already has ultimate, same as Ezreal, so Gumayusi has no, how is it called, cleanse, right? which means if Karma connects her W, Ezreal can connect his QWE ultimate full combo on the Jhin. Maybe Yummi will possibly face tank his Q and W, hopefully, but anyways, we look at it, even if he doesn't get ganked on, this is really bad, right? She Ws, right? And in here Ezreal could really easily EQW everything in, right? Now, oh, he had no ultimate actually, but it doesn't really matter that much, so the point is that he fall off a bit macro wise, right? He didn't respect the enemy jungler in here, so that's a really important thing to do. Like, there is not much to do in here, right? Realistically, like, if I go back, you have to understand that this is really greedy, right? And you can't really get the plate right now, right? Like, I think he was thinking to get the plate, but I think it's really greedy because it's the third plate. The tower is a bit more tanky, as well. It has like there's like a lot to take down, right, alone. So yeah, this was just like being greedy, right? Okay. So his greediness gets punished a bit, and the problem is the Yummi gets picked up as well, because if the AD carry dies, most of the times the Yummi dies as well, which means that you're not only giving up 1 kill, you're giving up 2 kills, so yep, it's a bit of a bummer. Alright. So Yummi is going opposing right now. She's looking to gank the mid lane, so Jhin will be a bit more fragile. He will play alone on bot lane. Okay. He brought a control ward, he brought some items towards his item. So kinda important thing to do if you're playing Jhin. If you're here and your jungler is, or I mean your support is not in the present, I mean even your jungler, right? You should aim to W this bush, something like this, right? Or eat or ward it from this side. He could even control ward it, honestly. Where is his control ward? He's here, right? Because there is a possibility the enemy jungler, somebody sits here, right? Oh, he's top side, okay. Karma is top side as well, right? Now they got revealed, of course, but before, when he was walking all the way downwards, he was like walking kinda carelessly, right? And that could easily happen because the Yummi, most of the time, so here's the thing about Yummi, usually early on her ward score is low, because the reason for that is that she can't really leave the Jhin because the Ezreal, is will be the Ezreal and the Karma will all in the Jhin as well. If she ever gets caught, most likely she's dead, so it's really dangerous for her to go for some deep ward. So early on, her team will be low on vision score, right? Which is like one of the weaknesses of Yummi, right? It's hard to set up wards. Okay. So he just picks up again, he picks these up and hopefully leaves the whole thing, because I think again, they're setting up a dive, of course, right? Now Gumayusi didn't really go for a single point in his E. It's really not a problem, because the only way that the support CCs is with her ultimate, which is really specific to it. So in lane the E is not the best in this matchup, but what his E is good to, it's really good to deny these Talon ganks, or to, not completely to deny, because you don't really know from which angle he will come from, but it's really good to like use them as wards against Talon and Katarina. On bot lane it usually doesn't really provide much combat power, of course, but it's generally good to avoid these ganks more easily, because his trap will slow Katarina or the other guy Talon, which will allow him to W the target and get the speed, get the root, and no power, right? That's like one way to play around them, of course. Like right now after the buffs it might be worth to make your Rion Jhin early on because he has a Yummi as well to empower his E damage, and the side of that the Drake is on the bot side of the map, so if he has to ease, it's more easy to secure the Drake. Aside of that there is like another tech on Jhin. If you are leashing the blue, you can even E-start and spam your E under the blue for your jungler, which means that it will allow you just to go for an insane leash because of your 4th shot, which deals damage based on missing HP, and your E, which will allow you to go for an insane leash, and then your jungler will be really accelerated early on. Possibly he will go for some unexpected early ganks because of that, so that's definitely a fine option to go for if you are not really looking to fight early on with your Q, right? That's an interesting way to play it out, of course, my opinion. Okay. I guess shit happens, right? Okay. They get picked up. Again, probably just a macro mistake, right? So my problem is again that we don't have enough vision over the map. So he could E this, he could W this, Yummi could Q this, right? We don't have enough vision on the map, right? And after bot lane taking the bot tower, they generally want to rotate on the top side of the map to pick up the top plates if they are ahead in lane. So let's see what happens, right? Now they're revealed, 2 of them are there, 3 of them, so all of them are here and they see the Yummi and the Jhin. So they are really not allowed to step up and CS this wave. We already have vision, right? We already have info. That means we can't really step up. We can't even step up in here, right? Because what will happen, we're gonna get dived because we don't have sums, right? We don't have sums on Yummi, we don't have the ults. Jhin has summoners though, but it doesn't matter all that much. So now he spotted them, right? I don't like how he's even walking towards the bush, right? Yeah, so this is like a bummer spot to be because there is no Twisted Fate ultimate, there is no Shen ult, there is no way to realistically to follow this up from his team. So I wouldn't even take the CS, I would take Krugs. I would pull up Krugs towards the tower, that would be the safe play. Then we get Krugs, they don't steal the Krugs, and then just allow the Rumble to shove, set up some ward, so 4 people gonna show up in here, and they will be in here but they don't kill us, they don't kill the Yummi, which is a problem, right? If you die as an AD carry and you have Yummi, then likely she's gonna get killed after, which is a problem. But this could be just a free Drake if he went for Krugs, right? The Krugs would give around the same gold value as a wave would, so that's that, right? And now the Krugs should be given up as well, which is a kind of a bummer. And now plates too, right? So this could be played a bit better macro wise, of course. Now let's see what happens in here, of course. She secured the Drake, right? Okay, so they are rotating mid lane with the Jhin and Yummi. Katarina is really fed apparently, Talon is kinda fed as well, right? Kind of a problem for a Jhin player with nerfed Gale Force, right, and no flash. Again, like his positioning, right? So there's like another macro problem, like so many people are missing on the map, it's unreal, and he can jump through walls, she can jump through walls if she positions her dagger or jumps on Talon, of course, right? So we have vision on 2 people, Rumble has his ultimate up, but he's well aware he has no Gale Force, no flash, right? So taking this wave is just ultimately greedy from my opinion. Like the first thing you do is generally you wanna set up some wards, you wanna W this bush as Jhin, you want to eat, you want to go for a raptor ward, maybe Yummi can ward the raptors because then at least we know like we can hover top side because it's less likely we can get collapsed on so easily, but from the bot side map we still can get collapsed on, so that's why we want to sit in here. So without setting up vision we are risking it, like we are flipping it. So in here he's risking it, you know, he's risking it for a wave, right? And the safer play would be either allow them to shove and then pick up the wave, right? Or just set up some wards and then try to pick up the wave, right? Then just something like hover this side, but the safer play would be just allow the enemy team to shove. Now if you are lower ranked, then people would push this wave as fast as possible at this point of the game, so you are in a good spot. In higher ranks like Gumayusi plays, they will generally slow push this, right? Because there is no objective up, so there is no rush. But of course he escapes because Yummi has Shurelia. No, he has no Shurelia. She has actually Ludens. So he's looking to ult right now. Okay. It's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, the problem is Yummi has no Shurelia, but which would be really an insane disengage, right? I value more Shurelias this game against two assassins, Rumble as well, right? Mobility is really good against Karma and Ezreal to just avoid their skill shots. As well on Yummi you can perma proc Shurelia by getting in and out people, so I think that was like really a greedy option from Yumi's part to go for Ludens, because one problem with Ludens is on Yummi it's hard to reset the cooldown of it because you don't have too much continuous damage except your ultimate, and then again you don't really get any value out of the movement speed from Ludens because most of the times you're inside somebody, so movement speed is kinda useless on your champion, which kinda messes up Gumayusi as well in here, her not having Shurelias, right? So if you wanna be a good kitten on Yummi, you gotta go for the Shurelias, right?